about to learn. Oh, we paused it after the second round. So yay us. All right, cool. So we are right back into the thick of things here, folks. And yeah, and also of note, we have FaZe playing on the attack and TSM defending currently.
Yes. Unlike what I thought earlier, but now we've managed to get past the confusion. We can focus on the important matter in hand, and that is the third round and how big the third round can actually be. We are going to have Cutler just as a Cypher defending this particular site, and it's always dangerous heading towards any sort of Cypher, especially a Cypher that knows what they're doing. They put those cameras up, and they're sneaky little beavers. They can make things very difficult. Corey is having a sniff. ZachaREEE is there for support at the moment, and Deph's been able to take down the camera. So that's at least stage one of entering a Cypher site complete.
Now, obviously, if he's having a sniff, you hopefully want to find like roses or peaches or something like that. Or it could smell rotten, you know, which could very well be the possibility against TSM. You like how I took your thing and used it for my own thing? Quite proud of that one personally,
like
Dan. Yeah, no, it's good. Well done. Well done. Okay. So now it's just at this point now just trying to pull away any kind of utility that they can, right, from the defensive side. You got a decent rotation opportunity here for the Sage. But this is going to be Corey now. Makes his way through. We'll get, I think that was that was a counter flash there. But Corey, and actually gets himself one. ZachaREEE right behind is going to be able to lock down the kill against Cutler. This is going to now leave TSM up on the retake. You got Hazed. Going to be right outside. Look at that. They just locked him off of this one. Corey waiting on the rotation right by Garden. Easy pickings there onto Subroza, completely unaware. And this is looking fantastic here, Dan, for FaZe.
Wardell pushing in with the op. Seeing if he can find anything. At the moment, just has to try and go for a quick peek. Doesn't connect with it, though, and I think it's probably going to be backing off. It's going to be saving at this point for both Wardell and Hazed. It was just too strong a push, and this is going to be perfect for FaZe. Wardell wants some exits. Hopes to do a little bit of damage to the economy, but I think that the boys of FaZe Clan are smarter than that. They don't need to head that way whatsoever. They can exit comfortably the other side. And this is going to be 3-0 then. Considering I said earlier that it was a 13-3 victory for TSM when they played Immortals on this map, they've already dropped 3 rounds. That third round is often very scary, but at least Wardell has been able to save that op. And we'll see now whether he can do some damage with it. It's going to be a somewhat weak buy around him. Of course, there are 2 rifles there. Cutler is going to have to go for a Bulldog and half armor, so that is not going to be fun. Everyone else is doing okay, I guess.
Yeah. Some updates on people who are not doing okay. Gen G is out of the tournament. Sentinels have defeated them 13-5 on Haven. We'll get you guys more results as they begin to flood on in. But Hazed, right through the smoke, is going to lock that headshot there against Marved. Locking down this C site there, giving him that first blood. Hazed does it again. The madman, it's like he has x-ray vision through there, can see right through the smoke. And for some reason, FaZe just kept on going in there. ZachaREEE pops that res onto Marv just to try and bring them back into a fighting posture as Dephh is going to go inside of sight. But right behind him is going to be Subroza playing that cheeky angle, looking for another one. Locks the headshot against Sam this time around. Maybe he can get one more, but Marv is going to end that right in his tracks that they're coming back from the dead. That is now just going to leave only one player left alive. Wardell killed by Marv. Again, look at the value that this one guy was able to bring to the table after being revived by the Sage. It is Drone alone. Not a lot of options to work around with here. One and long, one hanging out in the back by the double stacks. It's going to be a challenge for him, but Drone can certainly do it. Gets one, gets 2, and Drone with 2 headshots, the madman, and he will get the defuse and the round win, putting TSM on the board.
See, and I wonder whether this is the lack of confidence that I'm speaking about, like a little bit of the fear factor that TSM bring to the table. You can watch such better angles there in a 2v1 scenario where you can just hold a crossfire, and that shouldn't be possible. He shouldn't be able to face one person individually and just succeed as he did. It shouldn't be that easy. I think that is a thrown away round, and I think that could have been 4-0 to FaZe, especially after such... Like, it was a difficult start to them. They lost the Brimstone, then they rezzed the Brimstone. Of course, that's important. Get the smokes down, get onto the site. They managed to plant the bomb. They got the kills. They got the post plants. The post plant positions just weren't really good enough. And I wonder whether that is going to be a ticket now for TSM to get onto this train and say, all right, well, you had your first 3, but we're here to play.
Potentially. We're waiting in the wings for a little bit. They did have a bit of a slobber knocker of a game against Together We Are Terrific, who are no slouches themselves. They know that all too well. But this FaZe Clan roster joining us for the first time in tournament play. A lot of known names across a variety of different games now looking to stake their claim here in the world of Valorant Esports. As we look at Cutler's perspective, and he's going to have this B site locked with the camera. If anyone does try to push up, he will get that intelligence immediately. Subroza will be backing him up in the corner, and they're inching their way through the garage. And Subroza maybe here's that plant, but instead it's actually going to be shots from Corey that are going to down Subroza. Cutler trades with one of his own now. That is going to lead it into a 4v3 advantage for FaZe Clan. Cutler getting that information. Where are they going to be going? He needs to know, and they know indeed. And this spike down now at C site. As no one is... And look out, though, by the way, for the Cypher. Be mindful of him, because he could pop up in the flank there and actually end this entire run. Drone is going to be out of the equation. So is Wardell, and that is FaZe Clan picking themselves up another round.
Okay, all right, well, they didn't crumble. I was worried that there was a potential of a crumble there after going 3 up and then losing a round. TSM might have been able to get their stuff together, but now TSM going to be on a very weak buy. Sheriffs are going to be bought up, maybe a little bit of armor to work with as well if you want, if you have the money to work with. We'll see what they can do on this eco round, because always very difficult with Sheriffs. Maybe you want to push maybe potentially C just so you can try and get for that early pick, but we saw what happened on C last time with all the smokes down.
Yeah,
maybe they can do something similar and they can spam them back.
Yeah, they're going to need to try and stop anyone that would be playing on that angle there. And luckily, they won't have to worry too much, because Hazed will be there with the pea shooter. I say pea shooter because that gun makes it sound like pew, 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 you know? So, hence why I call it that. I know, I'm funny.
I mean, I would call it a pea shooter just because for me, it does nothing, and it may as well be shooting peas and definitely not bullets, because I don't know how people have been hitting the shots they've been hitting today. It's disgusting.
Yeah, man. Come on. Maybe it's just trash in our hands. I mean, that's the case, you know, and in a lot of other players' hands too. Well, now they're just getting some more utility out there for TSM. Drone went around that flank. He's been doing that comfortably every single round and getting around the side. So I think it was intelligent there to just wait it out and punish him. That's exactly what happened there. Drone pays for that one dearly. Wardell does have out the knives. Should give him a bit of an advantage if he does happen to get that, you know, that slight moment there where he can see that player first, right? Only a few seconds left. The execute now happens on the C site. And they're all around that A site there, TSM. They're just waiting for that spike to go down. Now let's see, Gaskin. What does TSM opt to do here?
I've seen you win these, Hazed. I believe in you. It's definitely possible, but Wardell does actually open up. Does have the knives out. Gets 2, in fact. It's off screen, but this
I think we got to go to Wardell.
doable.
Yeah, thank you.
Joke's over. You're dead.
Can he push down C long and do something? He does have a weapon to boot. He will just take down the ult of Phoenix. Can't quite connect with those 2 knives. Dephh does reply. Hazed gets one on the ZachaREEE. And now the bomb is ticking away. The spike is going to go off. There isn't really enough time now. The Molotov comes out just to boot. But a decent amount of damage done to the economy, Golden Boy.
Yep, and if they get this kill there, they're going to make them spend a ton of money. And if I'm correct, they'll be walking away with some guns. Yes, both of them were able to pick up some weapons there. So, actually, no, I think it was just Hazed. Cutler was not able to get to a weapon in time. Regardless of the fact, though, that was an expensive round win for FaZe Clan. But they get the win nonetheless, inches them one step closer to victory. Marved, you can see, has a half shield there, and I think there is some considerations coming across the board. ZachaREEE's going to swap out, I believe that was a Phantom, for that Bulldog. On the other side, TSM have everything that they want. And now you know where the op is. But what Wardell does, Gaskin, is he'll be over by C site, put the presence there, let him be afraid to try and go up long, and then he'll move around to another side. And people know that he does this, but you just never know where he is going to position himself, because he can go literally anywhere with this thing and rotate quickly and get out of dodge quickly because he's Jet.
Repositioning is absolutely key with an op. You're completely right. It actually was a decent shot as well, hitting the drone, because Sam was totally looking to use Hunter's Fury there to get an opening pick and then potentially move down to this C site. Tracking dart gets injected into Dephh, but he will just take that one out. So the information of him on A long has now been given. But all those Cypher traps just haven't been popped at A. So I feel like TSM will be able to comfortably move off A ever so shortly. Hunter's Fury will come out, but can he connect with anything? It looks like he's just firing blindly at the moment. Might have done some damage, but no kills to...
Oh, and Marved actually marches on into the C site, gets himself 2 kills there, alongside Corey as well. They have been able to get C. Even with the stall that came from the orbital strike, it was not enough to stop them from coming through Garage and taking over C completely. Now essentially leaving Drone and Cutler in a really awkward position. No real choices that they can make here. They know that there's just not a lot of value in them wasting money to try and take this site back. They will concede the round. But as for FaZe, they can go hunting and looking for them, but it will be risky for them to do so, given that they are also a little bit Poe as well.
FaZe did pretty well, though, with the old bait over at A. Able to keep 2 members of TSM just heavily present there and almost scared to rotate away, feeling like it was going to be an A execute. Alas, it wasn't, and it was still C that's being targeted. And it's been C quite often already in this game, and I wonder whether TSM are going to have a little sniff of that now and say, okay, well, let's maybe stack up C ever so slightly. But then, of course, you have the possibility of a double bluff from FaZe, and they might recognize that, send a couple of smokes C now, and then suddenly head towards A. And you can see on the minimap that that might just be the plan, Alex. Brimstone is there to bring the attention over towards that C site, and then everyone else is going to be very much heading towards A.
As far as the ult economy goes here, you're going to have that res available on both sides. Also the information from Cypher, the run it back from Drone. And he uses that run it back to pull away as much information as he can from the enemy team. So don't be shocked if he does run it back low here. He doesn't know that there's going to be anyone located down low, but I think this is... I'll have to see, actually. So Corey does get pointed out, tagged up a little bit, has no idea that Drone is on the other side of that wall. A lot of shots are going out there, though. Drone is going to find one. That's one. Looking for a second one as he's trying to get away, but he can't do it. And that is Drone with 2 kills. ZachaREEE forced to use that res, but just as all that happens, ZachaREEE gets on top of the wall, and Drone gets 3. This high-impact Phoenix player here just doing everything he can. One more to the ace. Drone with 4. And that last player is going to be by that A site. It is a player that was res earlier on, Corey. Maybe trying to get a poke over there by A. And then you have one other player still standing, the Sova. That is Psalm, and he will look to join his teammate here in just a little bit. Not before scouting through all these areas. And right back again, Gaskin, Drone, hanging out, and Psalm is going to be able to end his reign of terror. They can plant on this A side here.
I always hope for the possibility of a 6K, because obviously with Resurrections it does happen as Corey doesn't quite get the spray down. Subroza gets him through the wall. And now it's just going to be the lone Psalm as Sova. He's going to take a defensive angle, goes for a wide peek, but Subroza is wise to it. And that's going to be the defuse. That's going to be the second round on the board then for TSM. Resurrection as well, just to keep the economy nice and healthy. Love to see that. Always a different way of using the res. It was a very brave res on the other side, though, from FaZe Clan. ZachaREEE getting the res off, but then opting to stand on top of the wall to try and defend the res, even though maybe didn't need to because the wall was there.
I don't know if he needed to. Yeah, I don't think he needed to. He had plenty of coverage. I didn't see the top of the head, but perhaps ZachaREEE had a little bit more information than what I had. Because we only saw it ever so briefly from the perspective of Drone. You know, they might be kicking themselves after that one, though, and TSM do manage to pick up their second round win, folks. But FaZe have been looking very good here on a map that has been predominantly strong for TSM.
Being told that elsewhere, T1 have just picked up a victory 13-4 over Immortals on Haven, and Wardell is absolutely firing with this op right now. Gets 2. Dephh manages to at least get something onto Hazed, but it's going to be a 4 versus 3, and the op's still very much present and still very much alive here.
Understand why that was stupid. Wardell was legit. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Knife him? You won't. You won't dare. Okay. I was about to say, bro, you ain't that savage. You ain't that savage. Spike is going to be down right in front of B. The reason why that snipe was just so absurd was just because Wardell was actually dropping down from that. So he had to reset in order to hit that shot and then immediately poked out again to get it, the second one, Dan. Just what a high impact start there for that round for Wardell.
And that's what you were talking about, just like having that confidence with the op as well, and what a difference you can make. If you can get 2 opening picks like that, it can be such a difference to a round. Flash comes out though, Drone's going to take down Corey. Phoenix on Phoenix action, and it is Sam left on his own yet again here. But Cypher is weak. This is certainly doable. A player of Sam's caliber,
I have the spike.
more than happy to go for this. Only has 18 seconds though, so he needs to get his groove on sooner rather than later, and he's going to be walking straight into an op, but he manages to get Wardell through the door. And if he can get the plant down with 8 seconds to go, then this is potentially winnable just because of how weak Cypher is.
Yep, and the plant will go down just in the nick of time here. Can Sam do it? Playing with that drone just to give him some more intelligence. Did locate 2, but it is Cutler. Headshot right through the structure, right through those Radianite boxes that are going to be able to lock down that round for them, give them another round win. Some other updates as well for you wonderful people watching. As you had mentioned previously, T1 did win 13-14 over Immortals. Also, 100 Thieves have defeated Together We Are Terrific 13-7. And that actually was a game that I was very curious about, whether or not 100 Thieves is at the level of, like, where is FaZe and 100 Thieves at? Even though they just played against each other, where are they against maybe some of the teams that are not, I wouldn't say as known, because I think Together We Are Terrific is a highly respected team within the community, but maybe not to the likes of like T1 or TSM. And even right now, with what we're seeing from FaZe Clan here, it has been quite impressive.
That means Together We Are Terrific are out of the tournament as well, so it's sad to see them go after such an impressive display. But alas, we have to move on and we have to find a champion. Great opening pick from Drone onto Sam though. Sam just trying to get aggressive, but it hasn't worked out. Everyone else is going to be heading towards this C site, but there's Cypher traps aplenty. Orbital Strike is available as well. That comes down. Marved manages to catch Hazed into it. Molotov will come out. Coulter manages to pick up the one onto Marv, but there is just trades galore right now. But the op is still there. Can he do any damage with it though?
Yeah, well, while all that went down, the last player to stay alive, it's Dephh.
The spike.
He's going to use the intel, trying to bait that plant there, and he pokes on through with the classic, but Wardell is going to hold on strong. And even though he had the assistance of Subroza, and he more than likely would have been able to pick that one off, you got to respect the ambition there from Dephh, just trying to give themselves a fighting chance in that round.
But it's these op kills again for Wardell that are really making a difference for TSM right now. And they need these rounds as well. When they went 6-1 down, I mean, you didn't really know what was going to happen here. And we were kind of thinking, well, FaZe Clan, maybe they're here to play and maybe they're here to stay. But if TSM can pick up at least 5 defending, I think they'll be pretty happy with that. Opening pick, potentially no. Wardell doesn't quite catch, but at least he did see the Cypher cross, which means he gave that information to Drone. Drone gets aggressive. He picks up the first. And now TSM have that man advantage again going into this round.
The first bloods for TSM have been the difference makers for them in this game. Thus far, every single time they've been able to get that first blood, it has typically led to that round win. Will this be the same thing here? Cutler from a distance, right behind the gong. Right through the structure too, kills Marv. Subroza looking around to see where these guys are going to be after the intel comes in from the Cypher. Know exactly where they're going to be. Cutler, another kill for him. Wardell on top, and it just was basically sheep to the slaughter, unfortunately. FaZe did everything they could to just kill him, pull a gun away from them, get them to spend some money. Is it lambs to the slaughter? Either way, it's actually pretty brutal that we even use that as a phrase, but that said,
I mean,
Dan,
you were correct. It is lambs to the slaughter is the phrase you're thinking of.
I think
But
I said sheep to the slaughter, though, so I'm almost certain I was wrong there.
Oh, well, you're
You
wrong if
know.
you said sheeps. Yeah, but I mean, technically,
Yeah, I am wrong.
lambs are just baby sheeps.
But yeah, you know, it's terrible either way. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna get another, and Wardell, even when he gets flashed like that, can easily just tailwind out of there, right? He's just gone. Doesn't really need to worry about too much. But drone hiding, as Christopher Elizabeth Puckett says, the sneaky beaver play. Right at those double stacks. Pops one, looking for a second, but Marved, you have to assume that someone is going to be there. Typically, Wardell on the follow-up as well.
Got spike.
Manages to get some smokes out, can just back off, and this makes things increasingly difficult for FaZe Clan. 3 versus 4. Brimstone, Sova, and Phoenix, but Hazed is having a little wander around C site. As soon as he saw no one was up, he wanted to have a peek. He wanted to see if he could catch anyone off guard, and he did just that. FaZe now kind of have to commit to this A site, and we need to see something big from Marv. He has to hit this shot. Doesn't actually die to the op, but thankfully, Color is there to clean Marved up, and now it's just going to be down to the lone Phoenix. Has to manage to win the opening engagement, otherwise this is all going to be over. We're going to be ending the half at 6-6 GB.
And a rocket start for FaZe Clan here, Wardell. Oh, Corey! But here comes the orbital strike now. And Corey down to 6 HP, doesn't have much of a hope here. He has to make a play right now, has no time to do it. And because of that reason, Subroza is going to get the easy pickings. It's push-ups. And that will be the half. TSM have been able to come back into this one. Looking at the track record here, TSM, they won themselves quite, was that 6 rounds, I believe it was. Yeah, so sorry, 5 rounds straight was what TSM managed to obtain. That's pretty nutty.
It is pretty nutty, and I think FaZe will be very disappointed with that, considering the really strong start they had. And I personally believe we are going to see TSM at their strength attacking on Haven. You can absolutely destroy a side who doesn't have better tactics than you when it comes to a 3-site map like Haven. It's just so open, and your ability to kind of force your way onto a site is going to be incredible. And as soon as you add like smokes, any sort of utility, any sort of Molotovs to just force people off site, and once you get that plant down, post plant's going to be comfortable for a side like TSM. So I'm really excited to see what they have to offer. I know that they're unbeaten on Haven in this tournament so far. They've won it 4 times, so there has to be something special. And admittedly, their defensive half, it wasn't, wow, they've won 4-0. They're amazing at this map. It was, okay, well, they're pretty decent. They've been able to come back from 6-1. I think they're going to be special on the attacking side.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like the conversation, though, should also just be about how good this FaZe team is playing, right? Because that match against 100 Thieves, I mean, that was just a grueling matchup, right? So much was put into that to try and on both sides, right, to just try and lock it up, go into the semifinals, one step closer to the finals. We are currently in a technical pause right now, everyone, so don't worry about it. We'll get this thing started in a little bit, but just covering a little bit more about what happened in that first half. I don't think TSM expected FaZe to come out the way that they did. And those first 2 rounds actually were like a pretty big deal for them. They were able to really ride a momentum. And even though TSM got a round win, it was still going to be FaZe just benefiting from that financially, being able to buy. And even with the spectacular snipes from Wardell, everyone on FaZe was doing their job, Gaskin.
And we saw how successful FaZe were in pistol rounds when they played against 100 Thieves, and they were able to do the same against TSM here. If they can win this pistol round, then this could be absolutely massive for any sort of momentum, any sort of confidence going into it. In the interview we heard before this game, he was saying, like, yeah, we've got strats for pistol rounds, we're confident on pistol rounds, and I think that is really important. I know that every team knows the importance of these pistol rounds, but the fact that clearly FaZe have been concentrating on them has helped them just an incredible amount in these last 2 games against 100 Thieves and TSM.
Well, it's do or die here. Well, not necessarily do or die, but for FaZe, if they're able to get this pistol round, this could be a massive win for them. And also just give us an idea, as we had mentioned previously, about what this FaZe team is capable of doing on the pistol. Is this a team that looks to play for that early game and then reap the benefits of it as the competition continues onward? B is going to be left open. You are going to have only one player, that's Psalm, hanging out on the backside with the Classic. If anyone has to commit to the site, Psalm is going to get the intel. They should be able to prompt the Brimstone to rotate. They're going to chop off one side of it, and there goes the arrow, and should give intel, but it has been destroyed instantly. Corey, the immediate kill there as Corey gets 2. Oh my goodness, Corey with 3. Finally, Corey is killed by Drone. He wasn't having any of those shenanigans. They did get that plant down, and Drone up on top. Good try, ZachaREEE, but you're gonna have to give that one another go again. 2 more players are gonna be around the corner here. Drone looking for the shot, gets himself 3 again. How is he able to do this? Only one person left alive now, and this is absurd. How Drone, it looked like it was going to be Corey and then Drone, and it's just the Phoenixes are just being impact players. Only one still remaining though. Spike
This is no
still
problem.
out, and there's no way that Dephh is going to be able to get this one. And despite the Herculean effort from Corey, from really just from across the board at the beginning of that one, it is going to be TSM that get that first round win. How big was that one, Gaskin? Wow.
Massive from Drone as well. I mean, it was a post plan that was just perfect for them. The execute onto site was good. They just snuck their way up mid. They were just edging and checking every angle, making sure they could just walk their way onto site, get the Sage close enough to be able to put that wall down. Wall goes down, bomb goes down, smoke is there as well from the Brimstone, just to make sure that there was no visibility whatsoever. They cleaned up the Sova dart, and then they just all flooded back out into mid. They knew the angles where they were going to be pushing from. They all watched different places. Okay, we saw an incredible 3K from Corey, but the fact that Drone was able to respond with one of his own was just massive. And then he just played it to perfection, just waiting for that bomb to tick away, waiting for that spike to dwindle away. He used his Molotov just to ensure that he could keep anyone off of it. And they're going for it again. This just seems to be a simple execute for them that is working out perfectly. They're just making sure no one's pushing through the smoke now. Spike will go down, they will reposition, they will post plant, and they're only against pistols, so this should be comfortable.
Oh, the Marshall plays, a little skeet shooter, just right through the smoke. Wardell, it doesn't matter what kind of sniper rifle it is. If it has a scope on it, Wardell is a big fan. Clearly, that's 3 kills for him. Corey on the opposite side by A. He's going to get punished there. And will actually be forced to have to just heal himself. Just around the corner, Corey with the headshot, but Drone wasn't having any of those shenanigans. That is 2 straight for TSM now. But boy, oh boy. It's just like, you know, I've loved seeing Drone and Corey. Like, these 2 guys, we hype up Wardell a lot, and he deserves it. But Drone, he's a robot. And Corey, the natural aim that this guy has, the gift that this person manages to possess, is absurd. It truly is, Gaskin.
And when you give players like that an ultimate, like, run it back, that is absolutely terrifying. The fact that they can push for free, get kills, come back, and then go again. You want to put your biggest fraggers, your best entries on that Phoenix, and both players are displaying incredible amounts of skill right now. ZachaREEE does get the opener, though, onto Drone, so that is a heavy loss, considering he has 20 kills so far. Run it back was there for Corey. He got the information. There was someone in window. Does try to get the spray down. He will just back off for now. And FaZe, they need to take advantage of this man advantage. They have spotted someone in that C site, so they're just gathering information at the moment. Plenty of time to work with here, GB.
Now, one more slow orb is going to be played out, so delaying this push once again. Everyone's stacked over on C long. We have some players by B, and now this is actually going to draw a lot of attention away because they've done this already a few times. But Marv has he has the information. He has the intel. He knows that no one's going to be going inside of there, and that means that no one is going to fully invest into this one. Every single member of TSM is held up inside of the garage. Subroza had to shoot his way out of those doors, leaving only 2 players left alive now. It's Wardell and Subroza rotating over to the A side, which they will run into those tripwires and give Dephh all the intelligence he needs. Spike is going to go down. This is going to be the retake. Let's see how TSM managed to hold this one down.
Does get caught by the spike cam. always a little bit annoying when he doesn't have to worry about it. He is just watching just in case anyone was going to be boosting over the wall. Jet's one of the best. He gets two. Wardell tries to make it three, but Sam sprays him through the box. And that is going to be the defuse comfortably in the end. But at least Wardell made an effort of it. He certainly made them sweat a little bit. 7,
I was not
8.
emotionally and physically ready for that, Dan. You understand that? I wasn't ready for that.
Did it take you aback a little bit? Did you rise from your chair ever so slightly?
There was a bead of sweat trickling down from my left brow that was rather troubling for me. You have to understand. But thankfully...
Maybe get that looked at.
Get that looked at? It's fair
Yeah,
enough.
I mean, just like it's a lot of sweat that's coming off your forehead right now in a quite a cool night in New York City.
Dude.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, Wardell has his trusty op as we start to round off with him. We got Dephh, who is gathering some kind of information over on a long. One smoke was played by C long. No one's actually moved on that area because you see that everyone from TSM actually can stack right outside of B. There goes a play again. Same thing that they've done before, but now it's going to be Drone going inside with Run It Back. Marved has the angle, does not get on top of that. I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself for that one. Maybe has to get some better sneakers. Anyway, Marv, though, just had to witness that plant go down. Smoke is played right in front, Wardell. And wisely enough, they actually are just going to drop that Molotov. So Wardell hanging out outside. You can get any kind of angle, but there's just so much smoke going on there. But Wardell still gets a kill through the plethora of smokes. And then it is just Drone with 3 to wrap up that round, giving them 9-7.
Yeah, and the words "just Drone" is already enough to worry me. I mean, if he is there and if he has a weapon in his hand, then he can do some serious damage. And TSM are going to go 9-7 up now.
Just Drone things. That's it.
Just Drone things. And the thing is, when you've got someone who's got 23 kills already, with still, what, 4 rounds potentially, 3 rounds potentially to play, he could be looking at like a 30 bomb, a 35, like if he's having a really good game and if this goes all the way. We will start the next round as Wardell trying to get an over with the op. Let's try and spray one through the wall, but it's not going to work out just yet as the rest of the team heads towards A. There's already been an early rotation from FaZe, so of course they wanted to stack things as they are on a weak buy. Drone is going to entry here. Sees no one just yet, but that's 2, and that's going to be the spike going down, and this is going to be a comfortable round for TSM, as expected, considering how weak the buy was on the opposition side.
Just how he so quickly, as he's just running around like a crazy person, just whips the corner and drops Psalm in a heartbeat. And it may seem like there's a lot of favoritism here for TSM, but what we're seeing from this TSM team in the attack thus far has been very impressive. The fake outs, the executes, everything that they do post-plant. It's just, again, it's a team that has been putting in all the work. Now, this actually is going to prevent FaZe from being able to try and get inside of here, do anything about this one. Wardell stuffs Marv, but the other 2 guns are going to be saved for what it's worth. It's not all that much, to be fair, but they also don't want to give the free ult charge if they die to the enemy team.
All right, what have you got, FaZe Clan? Some 5-14, not having the most comfortable of games, especially considering I was saying that I feel like he was a very important part of this team. If his cog isn't ticking, then the whole team isn't kind of well oiled. He usually plays on the Viper on other maps, and I've seen him absolutely dominate as a Sova, but he just hasn't been able to get into a comfortable situation. TSM have been able to single him out often at times. Oh no, Corey just not making it fair whatsoever. Like, he's just going for the prediction, he's going for the spray. We've seen this so many times already. We saw it over on the C site as well. These guys are just literal gods.
Yeah, they're going for shots that players just won't normally go and take, you know? It just tells you the high level that we're seeing here between these 2 teams. Very close matchup nonetheless. TSM FaZe, if you're just joining us, semi-final action. Lots of games have been going on today off broadcast, and we gave you guys a few of those updates. We'll touch on that in a little bit. You mentioned, again, the reason why Psalm has been struggling a little bit, Gaskin. I think it's just because B has been focused so much by TSM. It's like they have isolated him, and there really hasn't been much he could do. Also, you know, Wardell things. So he just shoots him right around the corner like that.
But also, as a
They don't
Sova,
spike
sometimes
down.
it's your job to be like kind of first response as soon as there's any sort of entry onto a site, because you have the ability to get your drone out or shoot a dart out to get any sort of information when those smokes are down. It's your job to then push through those smokes and go for the kills because you know where those players are. Yes, okay, you're going to give information to your team as well, but you're usually in a position to try and do something. And unfortunately, he hasn't been able to gain the information that usually you would be able to do as a Sova. And that's going to be a no-scope from Wardell as well. This man does not care. He'll be able to do anything. That's going to be 3. No, not going to do 4.
No. I'm not ready for this. Don't do this, Wardell. He held him back, bro. He was going to go for the defuse, but now he had to play back, and Wardell, no, it's ZachaREEE. He gets the clutch. Oh my goodness, that was squeaky bum time. 150% there, Gaskin.
My bottom was definitely squeaked, as you would say.
Yes.
But that is a
lot of moisture.
huge round for FaZe Clan. And that gets them back into this. Like, they have the potential to kind of take this momentum now and shift it towards the next couple of rounds. They have 2 ops to work with, so they can situate themselves on 2 different sites. It's just a Bulldog on Marved, but I mean, he can do some damage with that. But what a round it was. I mean, like, that just shows the sheer power of someone who is good enough with an op. Hunter's Fury will come out. Does it connect with anyone? Has he been able to tag anyone with his drone? It doesn't look like it. So it is going to be a wasted Hunter's Fury in the end. No damage done whatsoever.
Updates off stream as well. T1 versus Immortals is currently at 6-4. I'm assuming in favor, given how it was written for T1. You know, and I'll be the first to admit, man, I kind of wrote off Immortals, but more on that in a little bit. More on drone right now. Marv, though, wasn't having any of those shenanigans. He's going to use the Bulldog to send drone packing in this round. Perhaps they may be going for a res, but given where the position of the Sage is currently, I think they are going to make this res happen here any second now, which they have successfully done. No res on the other side for FaZe Clan, so TSM will have that man advantage. C site's been forfeited for the time being, as Psalm awaits any of the players that are going to try and make the push inside of B. But look at this, because C site has been given up, this is going to give them everything they need. And to go inside, they're wasting ults in this area too, assuming that they're going to be located in this particular vicinity. That is actually not going to be the case. The tags have come through, and now the retake happens here for FaZe Clan.
To run it back, Anderson Orbital Strike used, but they were able to get the information, they were able to get the site, and they are setting up, and they have the post plants, and it looks like FaZe Clan have decided, yeah, we can't afford to lose any of these weapons. We haven't been able to get any sort of frags on that C site, so instead we're just going to back off. Cypher's going to pick up all of his utility probably, and we'll go again. We'll give them 11. I think that's a very smart decision, considering their buy was already pretty rough. The fact that Marved, you can see, is on a Bulldog, and he probably is thinking, like, guys, I don't want to be playing with a Bulldog for the rest of the game. Come on, let's save some money. And these 2 ops are going to be very valuable. But now we see the hunt beginning for TSM. They're saying, hey, you want to save these guns? We're going to take them off you. Subroza does manage to take down ZachaREEE, so that's going to be 1 falling. Dephh gets the snipe, but Psalm falls. Can we see Dephh go down? No, Dephh, that's huge, getting the op kill. And it's going to be 11-8, but at least 1 op was saved in that culling at the end of the round.
The purge. Well, they are forced, though, to use suboptimal weaponry. And in some instances, at least for Psalm there, we'll probably need Dephh to buy for him, which has more than likely been done. Actually, no, if I'm correct, Psalm, no, he's going to be rolling with that Ghost, and the gun was actually spent for Corey, which makes sense. He has been your top fragger. You're going to want to have your duelist with this weapon. And they're taking ownership of mid, which is something that teams have been looking to do lately, is just go right outside of mid, right? Invest like 2 bodies out there, put eyes over at the window, because, you know, people always like to go for that poke. And Corey is now just be located right in a safe spot. The run it back two gives him some intelligence. Dephh gets a kill against Subroza. And Corey's still going to be by mid.
Well,
they're hearing all of this movement.
And information is everything. If you give that information to your team, then you can start to see a rotation. You can see the Phoenix just pushing out into middle there, seeing if he can gain anything there as well. Corey could be behind enemy lines at this point, but there are players on both sides. He does find one onto Cutler. So the trade comes through, but maybe the damage already done. 3 versus 4. Moves around, but he can't quite get Dephh. Dephh is hitting shots today. Absolutely massive yet again.
Where is everyone hiding?
Oh, I like this play. I like this play. Oh,
No.
I like that play, baby. That was it right there. Uses the Cypher ult to get the intel, and at all costs, he was able to hide inside of that cage, wait it out, get the kill, spikes down in front. Wardell cannot invest this into it. There's no reason for him to do so. He's going to hang out by the sewer at A. And that is a round win for FaZe. And they're inching their way back into this matchup, Dan. TSM spending money. They have a lot left in the bank, though. Perhaps they could buy Park Place, Boardwalk. I don't know. The options are limitless to them. Oh, wait, did you play American Monopoly? Do you know Park Place and Boardwalk, or was it different? Was it like Piccadilly or something?
It's like Piccadilly and like Mayfair and stuff like that. We made it our own. Don't worry. We want to be as different as you as possible. Yeah.
That's fair enough. That makes sense. Makes sense.
You don't blame us. That's good. We can see how important these ops have been throughout this entire game, though. I mean, we saw Dephh save the op the previous round, and then what he did with it in the following round. And Wardell, I mean, I don't even need to say what Wardell's been doing with the op as well. But smokes are there on C site. Wardell is going to be inching his way around to see if he can get an opening pick, see if anyone's going to have a little sniff at him, but it looks like at the moment they're not. Is anyone going to peek this box? They know someone's going to be on that left-hand side as well. The wall is a little bit of a giveaway here, Golden Boy.
Well, but I know that there could be some criticism for using the wall like that, but I think it's actually pretty smart, at the very least, from ZachaREEE to give himself like a fighting chance on that. A lot of people always use that wall just to hold people off. While all that was going on, though, it really was all for naught, because TSM have been able to get inside of C. Wall place at garage, it's going to give them some comfort for a moment there, unless anyone decides to try and shoot that thing down. Some shots are currently coming out. Dephh is going to be hanging out on the back side, gets flashed. We'll hold this one back. Dephh has been surgical with this one. Drone, luckily, there to stop him. And TSM now sitting at match point, folks, in game number 1. Can FaZe Clan bring it back? It has been a bit of a topsy-turvy game thus far, but I do think that FaZe have it in them to squeak away another round here. I don't see TSM ending it right now, despite the fact that they have Orbital Strike as well as the Cypher ult. I'm still holding out hope that Dephh could be the difference maker for them, and the way that he's been shooting that op has been surgical.
FaZe need this opening pick. Every time TSM have been able to get an opener and get onto a site, it's been near impossible for FaZe to do anything about that. The executions from TSM have been perfect, and there's the opening pick from Dephh. Can he get a second? No, he can't, but Sam's there to cover at least, and that is going to be 2 down for TSM, and I think you might be right, GB. I think there is still more life in this game just yet.
These are some of the best players in Valorant right now. You cannot count them out, no matter who is at the other side of the ball. Drone, though, saw that flash coming in, was able to react accordingly, and the player on the opposite side is actually going to have to prompt himself to move away. Wardell going for a real far plant all the way at the corner of the A site. He'll still have his op available to him. It is a 3v4 in favor of FaZe as they are looking to make this retake happen. Drone does have a run it back to work with. And that's one, but ZachaREEE has his teammates back. Som did not check the corner, but the trade was certainly there. Wardell, though, he was there with the op. Now it just comes down to how this is going to play out. Dephh He did locate Wardell. Wardell does tailwind out of there. Does Dephh get the shot, or is this going to be the end of the game? It is all down to Dephh here. He has been amazing thus far. Gets 1 kill, and it's only going to be the last remaining player here, the Cypher, hanging out in the back. All he has to do is hide, and that, folks, is the game. TSM pick up game 1, 13-9, and their run on Haven continues to be flawless.
And I said there was more life in it, but it's just how good TSM are when they get onto a site. As soon as they have a game plan, if they're able to perfectly